Thank growth it's Friday. Hi, Miri. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. I'm so happy we can hear each other. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. A million times over. Thank you so much for being here. Jessie will be back on with us in just a little bit.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Actually, I really am very grateful that you invited me. We're going to have fun today.
It's going to be so much fun. I have so many things. I think I just have so many questions for you, so many things I want to ask you about with what you're doing in real estate, what you're doing in life, everything that's going on. Real quick, I do have a couple announcements, though, if you don't mind if I knock those out of the park real quick.
Absolutely. Go for it. Let's go.
Okay. So real quick, guys, tonight is book club. So interestingly enough, the book that we're reading right now is called Tribe of Millionaires. Miri, that's actually the book that got you and I together, is it not?
I know. It's an amazing book. I've been reading it again. Oh my gosh, what a fabulous book. Wow.
There's so many things that stand out, and it's so interesting that here we are. It's been over a year and a half. Can you believe that? I've known you over a year and a half.
We're closing and soon.
Yeah. It's just like it all comes together. So here we are, full circle, back to Tribe of Millionaires. We have that book club meeting tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard, because that's you and I's time zone language. But for those of you who are in the more popular part of the country, that is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Yep. So we're aiming to read about half the book, but lo and behold, guys, it's one that you can't put down. It doesn't matter if you're reading it. It doesn't matter if you're listening to it. It is so engaging, so interesting, so full of information, and it's a great story on top of that. So if you only finish half of it, awesome. If you've read it like 9 or 10 times by this point,
yes, yeah,
we're right there. We're right there. So book club tonight, please. If you haven't read the book, please feel free to hop in and join us. We're halfway through the book, so you still have plenty of time to catch up. If not, just come hang out with us. Book club's a ton of fun. So we have that going on. The second thing I wanted to talk about is Las Vegas. So Miri, you're going, right?
Of course I'm going. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited to meet all of you in person. Wow. You talk to people for such a long time, almost 2 years. I missed Jesse last time because when he drove by here in Salt Lake, I was at my daughter when she had a baby, and I was so bummed. I'm very, very excited to meet everybody in person and give everybody a hug, a real hug.
So we have those dates coming up. If you're interested and you do want to go and haven't quite gotten the information yet, reach out to Jesse, reach out to Kevin, reach out to my husband, James, reach out to James Ziegler, anyone that is on the Revolt team. We are happy to get you help set up to meet everybody in Vegas. It's going to be the time of our life. We are not partaking in most of the Las Vegas activities. So that's up to your discretion. So you make that choice. But we're really excited to get everyone to Vegas, see everybody's faces, get some education in, get some networking in, and really just have a really, really, really good time. Lastly, Miri, I know you just hopped in on our current class, what we're getting ready to start. So guys, if you are interested in getting into the Growth Co., our next class is starting in less than a week. I cannot believe it. It's already halfway through the year.
It is. It's scary, actually. It's scary. I don't know where time goes. I really don't.
Yeah, it's flying. My girls are going to be going into 3rd grade now.
My son just turned 17. My gosh, my baby boy, 17. He just drove away for camping for the weekend. I mean, look how big he is. It's awesome. So, I know.
Okay, so you've got a baby. You've got grandkids. You've got kids. You've got people all over the country that love you because I'm in New Mexico, and if I could just give you the biggest hug in the world, I
Thank
would.
you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you, Miri. How did you get into real estate? How did you meet Jesse? Like what, how did all of that evolve?
Well, I've been in this space for I think 6 years. And to be transparent and truthful, because that's who I am, my journey has been very rocky, quite rocky. It wasn't one of those, yes, I started and I made $1 million and hoo, let's do it. Yeah, it has not. But it's been a very good growing journey, which is phenomenal. I started with, I bought my education way back and I got, again, I think about 6 years ago with a group. And I was kind of stuck there for a while. And I needed to get out, but I didn't. I should have got out a long time ago. And Jesse, I don't even know. He put a post in one of our group that caught my eyes. This is probably 3 years ago, even before your time. I was in another group with Jesse before that, and it. I think he was kind of new too, so he was trying all different things, and he kind of fell apart, which is fine. You know, you learn what you know in the progress of doing things, you're learning what who you do not want to do business and what you don't want to do. So that was a good experience. And then kind of like we lost touch, I think. And then when I got out of that group that I was part of and kind of find, sub two and people that are doing something different, more appealing to me, I found Jesse again. And that's how it was like, I think it was the Elephant Challenge. That's what we started. And that's how I found Jesse again. I don't know. It's kind of, it seems like in circle. And here I am now, with you guys. And we kind of, bunch of us kind of stuck together still. You guys brought, built something really amazing that I think you found a gap in the real estate world that actually in any business, when you only have just information and know how to do, the practical part of it, it's very daunting. So yeah, so that's how I met Justin and I met you and all the other group people in our, REI Vault. And yeah, it's been a very fun. I mean, let's put it that way. I'm not where I want to be, but I've learned so much. My mindset, my not that I ever didn't think I can do something, that I didn't have issue with that, but just learning and growing. With all the books I've been reading the last year, it's like, wow, it's like, gosh, there's a whole different world out there that was very new to me, because I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years. My oldest one is 31. So I've been a mother for like 31 years or 30 years. Oh my gosh, it's like crazy. So I didn't really, yes, I learned with my kids because I homeschooled them, but I needed to expand, and I wish I did it a little bit earlier, even with my kids, but that's okay. I'm here where I'm here now and I'm learning and growing. So that's kind of fun.
Dang. So full circle. So you had the experience of like getting into something that wasn't quite fruitful for you.
Mhm.
And then full circle, you come back around, you end up with me and Jesse in the Elephant Challenge, which at the time I think was multifamily, was
Yes,
it
it
not?
was. We started with multifamily, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Ryan, he was in our tribe of millionaires. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh. Angel, it's just so
Yes,
many people.
yes. We were a bunch of people, really. Some of them kind of disappeared, I think, and some are still around, which is nice. Mhm.
Yeah, everybody got to kind of go on their own journey. And lo and behold, here we are.
Mhm.
You were helping Jesse and I with the Growth Co. You do a lot of our outreach for us. You communicate with a lot of people who are interested, who are curious. Allison, what's up, Allison? She's in our Growth Co. and in our tribe.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of like, it's amazing how life kind of spins full circle. Like you think you meet someone in passing and they end up being just such a vital part of your life, and you'd never know it at the time that you meet them.
You're right, you don't. You don't, because it can go either way. Either they become part of your life, or they just it's just seasonable. Season. They were there and they're gone, and which is good too. It's all good. You know. So yes,
Man, that's just, it's really interesting to think about. Like going back and kind of reflecting on the past couple of years, I've met so many people, I've gotten to experience so many things. I've built relationships that fell apart, and I've built relationships that have become essential to who I am in my core almost.
yeah.
Like, so I would put you in that category, Miri. Like you're someone that I personally I know I can count on as a friend, as a maternal figure, as a business partner. It's just amazing that when you really think about it, the way we treat people is very important because you never know how you're going to end up with that person.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we all figure out that really relationship. So this is really one of my most important part of my life, is relationship. So it's relationship with my with my husband, with my kids. I mean, gosh, my kids are they are everything for me. I would never say, I mean, always there for them, and relationship in general. And it's, as I said, it's been a hard journey because I've tried different relationship in a business that it did not work out, and that's okay. And now I'm more focused. I love what Jesse said in one of our Zooms, that even when we decide to meet with people, we just really need to figure out what's the end goal. Because just meeting and talking, and it's like going to a party and talking about the weather when the weather is very obvious. It's very shallow. You know what I mean? Well, it's sunny. Okay, I know it's sunny. So I don't. I've decided that I'm really focusing, putting my blinds, and then building the relationship that really meant for me, so I can give and not being kind of spread thin.
Mm-hmm.
So that we don't have to have hundreds of people to have relationship. I mean, it's impossible. It's got to build a good core, and then you can still help other people. But yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. So through all of the relationships you've built and through Mary, you were truly one of the kindest people I've ever met. Like you were someone that I strive to be like in every way that you treat people. And so watching how you are and watching the way you treat people, watching the way you handle conversations, it to me is something that I look to you as a mentor in your day-to-day behavior and what you give and how you treat people and everything above that sort. So I just like how did you get to be Miri? Like what was it like? How did you end up with these values that have just been so foundational to who you are?
the truth is, I think, and I'm not perfect by all means. I always strive to be better than yesterday, and always grow and really truly to be much better. Is the way I feel is like how I would like to be treated. There you go. I mean, if you can think about how you would like to be treated, you can't really go wrong. Because nobody wants to be treated badly. Don't nobody want to be talked, not nice to. I mean, you just none of us does. Even truly, if you search in your heart, you need to try always treat people the way you would like to be treated. And I think that sum it up. I door knock, for example. Some people are very angry. So I don't take it personally because I don't know what other people go through in their life. You just don't know. So just if you come from a place that um, kind of saying, because I don't know where they come from, I'll give him grace. But if it's something that's consistent, I mean, if somebody treats you always badly, then it's a whole different story. But treat people like you want to be treated. I think that's the key, basically.
So I agree. My mom always said that you do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Love thy neighbor. A
Exactly.
lot of the things that, like, I remember growing up hearing those things, and growing up is hard. Like, being a teenager is hard. Like, trying to love someone that is blatantly mean is a challenge.
It is a time. Of course it is.
And it's interesting now that we're at this point in life, I mean, especially in real estate, especially in the business that we're in, you meet people from all walks of life.
Oh,
You,
yes.
I've talked to people that I remember having a conversation on the phone. I called this guy and I said, "Hi, my name is Carlin." He said, "I'll give you 15 seconds for your pitch." And I was just like, "Oh no." And it was horrifying, but you get to this point in life where that either can bother you, or you can give that person grace, like you said, and be like,
Absolutely.
they might have been having a hard day, and
Yeah.
just move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesse talks about that story about somebody cutting you on the road, right? And some people get really pissed about it. Like, I mean, angry, fuming. You can almost see the fume comes out. But then he said, well, what if you knew that the person had emergency and need to get to the hospital, his wife having a baby or whatever it is? Would you not look at it different? Of course you would. So,
Yeah. I actually saw a road rage scenario the other day by an elementary school nonetheless. This car cut off another car and they went hauling it down the street. And I remember standing there watching these cars and I was like, man, they must be having a really bad day.
you have to. I mean, you cannot have a great day and act like that. You just cannot.
Yeah. So I kind of wanna pivot a little bit, Miri, because I know that you've been doing some really cool things in the background.
Mhm.
And I absolutely love watching your lives when you do them. I try my best to share them when I see them.
I noticed. Thank you. I need to get him more often, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So
So I know it's a topic that you're pretty passionate about, would you say?
absolutely I am. I'm very passionate for a lot of reasons. And so
So would you mind kind of going into detail with what you're working on and what it is that you've really put a lot of energy into?
yes, yes. So we are in real estate space, right? And I'm thinking that most of the audience here would be in that space too, right? So
Yeah, it's safe to say
how
that, yeah.
yeah. So finance, before we get to the nitty gritty, finance is something that became very close to my heart because it's not been taught. Not taught is not taught in school, and I would venture to say it's not taught rightly in universities. Even in business, it's not. It's not taught how we can be entering the world of work, either entrepreneurship or W 2, or whatever you're going to do. How is it that we need to look at finance? We really know nothing. So, when I looked at our journey for my husband and I as financial, and we lived a very comfortable life, we really did. But when you don't know what you don't know, it can actually bite you when you get to my age. And I'm almost 60, I'm 59. My husband is 63. So you want to be set, really nicely set in one area of your life. And it's really actually, I believe, it's the retirement, which we don't talk about, we don't think. Yes, they talk about 401k and Roth IRA and all those tradition ways of to prepare yourself for retirement. Now, people think so. It really depends. First of all, if we go back, so first of all, my passion started that I really wanted to educate my children because if I left it to somebody else, it wouldn't happen. So I wanted to educate myself too. So I've decided because I found something is really unique that a lot of people don't know because it's fairly new in the market. It's about 8 years. So it's a strategy that amazing strategy. It's almost look like too good to be true, but it's amazing strategy. So I educated myself. I became certified in it. But the other thing is that it really depends how you look at retirement. When I let me ask you, Caroline, when I say retirement, what thought brings in your mind? Because you're much younger than me.
So there's two different ways I think about retirement.
Mhm.
Um, First is the traditional retirement. You know, you get to 65, you retire, you have your Roth, you have your 401k, you have the money that you've been kind of hoarding into accounts for the past, 20, 30, 40 years, however long it may be. And at that point, you are stuck on that income. You're stuck on what is in those accounts, and you're doing one of two things. You've either managed it to the point where you can kind of maybe do some traveling if that's what's in the books, or you might be able to pay your bills, hopefully. So that's the first idea of retirement. And that's what I grew up hearing. Oh, get a job, open a savings account, you need to have a 401k, you need to do this, you need to do this. And maybe when you're 65, you might have $1 million, which is great 70 years ago. The other idea of retirement for me, this is my personal idea. I don't believe that I'm the person that's going to retire. I love working. I love what I do. I enjoy it. I don't foresee getting to a specific age and being like, "Ah, great. I'm done working now,"
Okay.
because I genuinely love what I do.
And you know what? Those are the two things that I always hear. So let me debunk some of the things that I don't agree with or learn from my experience right now
Mhm.
by seeing where people are. So, first of all, you're right. To me, retirement is not, okay, I'm done. Because to me, it's like doing nothing is really a recipe to die, honestly. I mean, we're
Yep.
not meant to be sitting for 30 years because now we're living longer. And what I didn't realize, because we live to 85, 90, we really live much longer than when really retirement traditionally started. So if you think about it, we actually in retirement years just as long as we are in working years. So we have a long years to kind of be concerned. Do I have enough money coming in for 30 years, 20 years? You don't know. You might have 5, you might have 30. You don't know that, but you want to be prepared. But
Mhm.
retirement for me is getting my time back, which meaning, well, maybe this week I'm only going to work 10 hours because that's enough. Maybe next week I'll work 40. But it's the time freedom. That's what I feel like retirement is not stopping working because as long as I have a breath in me and I have capable, I am going to do what I love till I die. But if I want to take 3 months off and be with my kids and my grandkids, that's retirement for me. That I don't have not to worry about, that I have income coming on regular basis that actually pays all my bills and extra. Now, traditionally, let me it cracks me up when even if you have $1 million in one of those traditional retirement, even if you get to million, which is very few in between, actually, very small percentage get to million. And the reason is because it's attached to the market, to the stock market, which is
Mm.
very volatile, is up, down, and then you have those years you have to catch up, growing. So honestly, those retirement, they call it retirement, but they're really not true retirement. It's actually investment. Yes, you can get like, oh my gosh, you can get uh, years that you grow. It's like, woo, wow. You're thinking like, it's exciting. But then 2 years after, boom, half gone. You cannot, if no, none of us can afford to lose half of our money in retirement. You just cannot. So there is a different way to do it. Now, if you started there, it's awesome. It's up. Don't get me wrong. I'm not debunking it totally because this is sometime where people really start, which is awesome. But there is so much better opportunity there that people don't realize that they can actually choose from. And that's what I found, and that's what I absolutely love because that's what I want my kids to start doing because it's important for them, even though they are young, like you guys. If you start young, you will be amazed how you're going to be so set up in a way that you say, okay, I know that in 65, if I choose to work only hours a week, I know I have money coming in, covers everything I want. And that's the important things. And so retirement is not, people think about retirement as, oh, well, you think I'm going to stop working? No, that's not what I'm talking about. You know, do you know where retirement word actually started used, why they use retirement, and why people felt like they need to be retired?
Nope, not a single clue.
Well, when people work on the field, people were farmers. People had to work physically. Your body get tired. Even if your mind works really fast, your body's sometimes done. So that's what actually people started, and they lived much shorter. You know, people didn't really live from till 90, 95, and some people in great health and they can do whatever they want. And there's always the flip coin of that what if you don't have a good health? Because good health is not guaranteed. How you set up to be taken care of. People, we shouldn't really be worried about the days that come that we can work less, enjoy our family and friends, take more time off, still do whatever we want. We can still work. We can do whatever you want. So that's what I call true retirement. It's a retirement bliss, if I can call it that way.
Ooh, I like that word.
Yes. So that's where I am very passionate right now. So if you want, you can ask anything that you want me. I can kind of break it down. But if we want to, one of the things that I like to give to this audience that are in real estate, right? In real estate, I think we kind of perfected the OPM, other people money. We love using it, don't we?
I like using other people's money a whole lot.
Isn't it awesome? And as well, we like leverage, right? Because that's how we leverage other people money.
Mm-hmm.
Get what we want. So what's neat about all this strategy is that you definitely can do that in a place that your money still grow, literally grow, compounding, because it's a compound kind of a bucket or account, you could say, but you have the opportunity to use other people money and leverage, which is phenomenal and cost you less. That's what I
So
like.
could you go into that part a little bit? Like how would it be costing you less? Like what are you doing that has made this approach so enticing for other people?
So it's really actually enticing in many ways. It depends what your goals. What I love about what we try to do, it's very much what we do in cohort or your triage calls and Jesse call. You want to know what people are, where they want to go, what's their really goal. How would you help somebody if you have no idea where they are and where they're going or what they want to achieve? Right? You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have all those details to help them. So what we try to do, let's assume I come to you and I said, okay, Carlin, where would you think you want to have money coming that it's tax free? It doesn't show really like an income, but it's coming every month. What age would you like to do? You tell me, okay, Miri, I want to start doing that at 55. It doesn't mean you stop working, but that's what you want. And then we go from there and we figure out, okay, how much you need to put aside for that to grow, and how much would you like to see coming? That's another. So we look at all the components, when you want to start, how much you want it coming, and what's your resources to do that. Now, it's a lot of discipline here, and that's the caveat. And in anything, even in our business, if we're not disciplined of doing what we need to do, you're not going to get result, right? So it's the discipline. And what I love about the idea of paying yourself first, and I wish somebody told me that 30 years ago, honestly, because I would have done it. If somebody told me, Miri, because I always stay home mom, every time your husband get a paycheck, you take 10% and we can do something with that for all those 33 years. live alone 401k. I'm talking about totally something different. And just had the discipline to learn to live on 90% of what we were making. Oh my gosh, our life looked much different. It's just that people don't have that discipline. And it's like everything we teach in you guys teach in your is the discipline that people need to buckle up and do it no matter what. So, saying that, for investor, you can open an account that you can put all your, even let's say you're doing fix and flip, or you're wholesaling, or whatever that brings you money, chunk of money. I don't want to put my money in the bank. I don't get a good return, and I don't trust them. That's my opinion. I don't think bank can be trusted. So you can open an account that you can dump all that money that sits there and growing, while you can actually draw from it and borrow against it with other people money that it's in place, that have traditionally have about 4 to 5% that will cost, that they will take, because they need to make money. Nobody, hard money makes money, right? But they make like 10, 12, 14%. And what's the difference? You still make that money, but you can borrow it, use it, and bring it back into the same account that still keep going and working and growing. I mean, this is really in a nutshell. I mean, just using, because I wanted for people, the audience that you guys talk to, which are mostly investors, to understand that you can use other people money and use it, truly use it, and bring it back and have all the profit, that it's still always consistently growing, because it's a compound account, which is beautiful. Like Albert Einstein said, it's the eighth wonder of the world. It's a compound interest. And we kind of lost, I think we lost the art of compounding. I think somehow they brainwashed us. That's what I feel.
So how do you, okay, I want to touch on that. How do you feel like we've been brainwashed? Like, what happened in society that we've lost the idea of compounding and have been kind of set in stone with, oh, I'm going to gain 0.02% interest every year on my $7 that I put into my savings account?
I don't know that we lost it.
Yeah,
Let me just say that. It was set up. It was set up to fuck us from the beginning.
Thank you.
Hey, Jesse. Welcome back.
That's true, because in banking, banks make money. That's how they live. Regardless that I think they're all broke, by the way. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Banking is not for us. It's not helping us. We get nothing. And when people say, "Oh, I'm saving money," it's like, in a bank? Are you kidding me? There's so many other ways to put your money in a better place. It's accessible, and it's growing. And people just don't know. And then again, like Jesse said, we brainwashed that the static way, what everybody does. You know what my thing is? When everybody does it, I don't do it, because I know that's something wrong with it. I never do what everybody does, because that's what the herd going,
100%. That should be a golden rule for everybody, not just like what your finances are.
Exactly.
I would encourage everybody, like, take a look at where you are in your business right now.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do today? What did you do this Friday? What did you do this week?
Mm-hmm.
And if you did what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the results that everybody else is getting.
Exactly. And what the 90% doing is, I don't know, nothing, in my opinion. I mean, I know it's very harsh. I said it to my husband, even. I said, "What did you do today?" He looked at me. I said, "Well, if you can't tell me exactly what you did, or even my son, then in my opinion, you did nothing." That's what I said. I said, "If you can't tell me, break it down. I did this, I did that, I called, I talked to this. Break it down to me. Don't tell me, yeah, it is this and that." No, you have to know. And honestly, guys, I didn't arrive at yesterday. It took me a journey. to get where what I'm thinking different. I'm nowhere where I want to be, nowhere. But I'm educating myself, and I think we can never go wrong when we bet on ourselves. Bet on yourself, pay yourself first, and the rest is this discipline that we are not teaching. That's what I tell my kids now. My kids, my son, oh, mom, I said, I don't care, oh, mom, $100 a month, and you see what it's going to do for you. Start there, and then you can grow it more when he's only 17. But I want to teach him the habits now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So much easy to build good habits when you're young. Oh gosh, trust me, I'm 59. I had to break shackles, like break those shackles. I feel like I'm in prison. And you guys were very part of it, which is awesome. I'm very, very blessed to be part of this maddening that you guys building. So yeah, we have a little lovely little thing there. So yes.
So I think 2 books that I have read on financial literacy that have been game changers for my personal experience is hands down first, Profit First.
Exactly. And that's what he says. Pay, not only the profits first, pay yourself, because when you pay yourself, it's like, and people don't understand, it literally, honestly, as much as I love real estate, everybody should start there first.
Financial literacy.
Yes, because then you can use that knowledge, and then you convert all that money as well that you learn what to do with it in real estate and grow it. It's a cycle, and then it's rinse and repeat.
It's funny, when I used to be in the military, everybody, and this isn't obviously this isn't just specific to just the military, but everybody thinks that they're doing the next thing. Like, I can't tell you when I was starting my real estate business how many people were like, "Oh no, you got to go buy this crypto, and you got to go buy this crypto." And you know what? I will say, I fell for it one time. I almost put $10,000 into this one crypto because this guy kept telling me, he's like, "This is it. I'm making all this money." I'm like, okay. And I almost put 10 grand in. I'm so glad I did. And I put $1,000 into it. This was like 6 years ago. And, dude, guys, take a guess what I turned my $1,000 into like today.
-100.
About $100.
Wow.
So I'm so glad that I did not put 10 G's into it.
No.
But it's so, I love what you said there, Miri. Like, betting on yourself is so huge, because I think when a lot of people get into real estate, they see that the 1% is in real estate. And so now it's like, oh my gosh, everybody else, like, they treat everybody else in real estate as if they are in the 1%. If somebody's like, well, you should start out wholesaling, it's like, oh my gosh, yes, duh. I mean, if that's what everybody else is doing, clearly that's what I should do. Is that what the 1% are doing?
Probably not.
No, they're getting wealthy off of everybody else who's wholesaling.
Absolutely.
And
is the washing machine going? Sounds like a washing machine.
Sorry.
Oh, that was it. Was a vacuum cleaner, maybe?
We have a Roomba named Wally, and I'm fully convinced. I am fully convinced that this little robot vacuum has it out for me.
I'm telling you, they are demanding those things. They just run after you.
James laughed at me the other day because I was walking through the house, and first of all, Wally overstimulates me. Like, hearing the TV and hearing the kids and then hearing Wally and then the dogs barking. Wally is the one that pushes me over the top. And so I was like, I think I was on the phone with you, actually, Jesse, where I was like, okay, I'm going to go to a different room. And I walked to a different room, and Wally followed me. And I turned around, and the whole level of anger issues that is held within Carlin just exploded. And I turned around and just kicked it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. That is what you hear. Wally, after my life again.
Yes, that's awesome. And the other thing I wanted to kind of mention, because you have people from real estate, and we have here probably people that listen from real estate investing kind of space, they are all in different stages. They're newbies, they already did some money. Some of them really have a lot of money. I talked to somebody the other day, said, Miri, I'm paying so many taxes. I have this. I said, it's hard because nobody teaches you how to take everything and put it in a place that makes sense, how to mitigate the taxes. We want to pay as little as possible, honestly. I actually don't want to pay any, mind you. So if I could pay zero, I'm good with that. So there's a lot of things that for real estate that we can add, like even where if you have a lot of what is the word I'm looking for? Deduction that you cannot deduct. We have a strategy that will blow your socks off, that you can deduct. It's like amazing and make money on the same time. So there's a lot of things that we can give real estate investor, and it depends on where they are. I mean, if they have so much money that they really truly cannot deduct, there is a strategy that they totally can utilize in a way that, wow. I said, like, honestly, I'm because we meet every once and we do some different training, and I'm thinking like, wow, I never even knew that. And I've been in this space for 6 years. I never even heard that. So it's a lot of it. And again, it comes down for education. Really, if we're not educated, we don't make time to educate ourselves, then we don't know what we don't know. And one more thing that I really, really wanted, and what was very important to me to think, I just forgot about it. And this is specifically to the women in the audience, because I was one of them.
Jesse, cover your ears.
Earmuffs.
No, it's for wife. Maybe for your wife then.
Okay.
So I was stay-home mom from a choice, totally choice. Loved it. Wouldn't even change it for anything in the world. Started business after my girls will grow up. But you know what? Because the education part, because we don't know what we don't know, I wasn't really participating with my husband with the financial. And I think it's so wrong, because we can be another eyes if we learn and can understand that, to actually help our husbands, especially if they're working at W2, to actually take that money and make something even bigger with it. But because we don't understand, my husband, and he was the main breadwinner. He made the money. He paid the bill. I didn't really almost care. And that's wrong. Totally wrong. And it's not about power, men or women, nothing like that. It's about that we all should be educated so we can actually add value. Like if I knew literally just half of what I know, even 10 years ago when we came out of the market and took our 401k and directed it ourselves, I would put it now in what I'm really passionate about. We would be so much better, in so much better place. So I think women should really take the time to understand finance so they can be a power behind their husband too. I think it's awesome. So,
one of the big things that you hit on, Miri, and thank you for sharing that. I couldn't agree more. You use the word discipline. As you have stated, it's not from a lack. When people aren't where they want to be, it's not from a lack of information. I mean, we have nothing but an abundance of information. I mean, welcome to the internet. Ever heard of it?
You're right. You
know, and I think it comes down to a just a lack of discipline. And I see it a lot of people. Well, in short, I've noticed that most people, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 people, are more curious than they actually are committed. They're more interested in what people are talking about in Zooms or on social media or anything like that. And it sounds cool. And it's like, great, let's get started. Listen, let's get started and wake up 2 hours earlier than you typically would. Let's start there. Let's create a foundation. And everybody's busy. Let's just make this super simple. If you don't have any time in your day, I will wake up with you. Let's start up 2 hours earlier than you typically would. If you're waking up at 8, let's wake up at 6. If you're waking up at 6, wake up at 4. If you're waking up at 5, let's wake up at 3.
Exactly.
And let's just start there.
You're right.
And most people won't even freaking do that. Most people will not even
get
their ass out of bed.
I know. People say, "Oh, I can't get up that early."
Can't get out of bed. I want to change my life, but I can't do that.
I know. I know. It's so sad to me. It really is, because I became a morning person purely because necessity. I had kids, and I knew if I don't get up early, I have no time for myself. Because by the time night came, I was done deal, right? So I started getting up early to have Miri time. So I can have a coffee without nobody pulling on me or whatever. But when I started kind of the last couple of years with you guys, when I learned, I'm getting up at 4:30. People thinking like, you seriously waking up that early? Why? I said, because I get done so much in that part. It set up my day. It's like a launching pad. You know, the rocket that just shoots. And yes, there is days that I miss, very rare. And it seems like I'm missing something. It's like I'm missing a limb, my arm, my leg. It's like, ooh, now I need to kind of, and it's like those cups that you showed the other day about, being successful. They don't have to be full of, absolutely not.
Right.
There will be a day that I will sleep in till 7, and just be, lazy and have my coffee in my bed. And I would do that in the weekend sometime. But I know that if I want to get someplace, I need to do things that normally nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
They want the result, though, mind you. They want the result. They're just not wanting to work for it.
Absolutely.
So that's that.
So what are some of the things that you've done to break those shackles, as you said, like to develop these habits? Like what was it that caused you to start getting up early? Well, like for everybody else who's listened to this and they're like, man, I want to do this, but I don't want to wake up early. Because as somebody who's been there myself, I like the success and the momentum that you're looking for. What's the quote? The magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. Is that the quote?
It is a thing.
So. You learn. So it's not just about the 2 hours of work that you get in by waking up 2 hours earlier. What a lot of people don't understand is you quite literally have to become an entirely different person.
You do. It's
there's a transformation. You have to think about things differently. And even waking up, I used to wake up at 5. So then I started waking up at 3. And just that alone, it shifted who I was as a person. Because when other things that came up in my business that needed to get done, I wasn't delaying on it. I wasn't sitting on it. I wasn't thinking like, oh, woe is me. Like that one little piece of my life of just waking up earlier and being willing to be uncomfortable, like that shaped who I was as an individual. And it leaked into other parts of my business and my life where I was like, there isn't anything that I'm not willing to do to be successful. But for you, Miri, like tell us just a little bit, because I think a lot of people, when you listen to a lot of podcasts or you go to events, you get a lot of people that talk about things from the perspective of where they are now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the audience is in this area where they're trying to make that pivot. And so I really love to focus a lot of the challenges and stuff that I've overcome, because I've been in that area. I'm no different than anybody else on this or anybody else that's listening to this or will be listening to this. I'm not a guru. I'm in the trenches with everybody else. And I'd love to hear from your perspective what was going through your head, like what brought on that transformation as you were making those pivots and becoming more uncomfortable and finding out more about yourself.
Well, first of all, I did change each habit at a time. I didn't just, it's like working out. Somebody did not work out ever in their life and decided, oh, New Year, let's start every day, 2 hours.
New year, new me.
Exactly. Now, how long do you think that's going to last?
Well, according to statistics, less than a month.
Exactly. So starting small and building up. So it takes time. It really does. I'm not going to tell you that I woke up yesterday and here I am waking up every day at 5 o'clock or 4:30. First of all, I knew I have to go to bed early. I just knew that. There's just no way I can sleep 3 hours. I won't function. I will be nasty to everybody. It's not going to happen. So I needed at least 5 to 6 hours good night sleep. So I know at 9:30, 10, I'm in bed. I'm in bed. So that was a discipline because no, I'm not watching anything. I'm not nothing. I'm so disciplined. I'm not doing it because if I'm not going to go to sleep till midnight, I know 5 o'clock will be very difficult for me to get up. So you start with really small habits, really small. And I love how you said, you know, and I kind of taught myself to do the most things that I don't like to do first thing in the morning. Because guess what? You push it later, you're never going to do that. It's just, that's what it is. And
100%.
and you really truly um, build this. It's like foundation. And when you get there, a little bit at a time, I think it takes. I don't think it takes long. In a couple months, you build one habit, and then you do another habit. And I learn from you journaling. I never journal anything, for God's sake, but because of you, I really journal. I put everything in there, business, emotion, everything, and it really helps me to just unload everything because I just like to go to bed in a good mind, get up with full of energy. And it took me as well to get used to when my phone actually rings, I'm up. I don't think about it. I don't negotiate myself because I will argue with myself. Oh, but come on,
How many of us do the same thing, man? Like
5 more minutes.
cozy, it's warm, it's Friday.
I know. And I used to think, especially when I was raising my kids and I didn't work outside of it, oh, weekend was like, oh, thanks God for weekend. But now, weekend is work too. I mean, you need to take time when you can take time. It's nothing to do with weekends. So it's really only building habits, like little bit at a time, and you build on it and you really get better. And it's kind of amazing because, again, it's like sometimes you think like, wow, how do you have energies? But because you have those good foundation of habits,
Yeah.
heck,
I love that you said that, Miri, because anytime, like one thing that at the risk of sounding arrogant, one thing that I'm very, very good at, and I know that I'm really good at, is taking a result that either myself or somebody else is wanting, and what I'm really, really good at is being able to cut out all the noise and break it down to just very, very simple steps. And what you're saying is absolutely true. Like I think a lot of people, depending on what the result it is they're looking for, they think that they, maybe they're not just maybe they don't have the right list, skip trace. Maybe they're not using the right data. Maybe they don't have the right CRM. Maybe they don't have this. Maybe they're not hitting the right market. And really all it comes down to, the first thing I start asking somebody is when they're not seeing the results that they want, when they're not where they want to be, when they're confused, the first thing I start asking them is, great, tell me about what you did today.
Exactly.
What are your habits look like? And that will tell you anything and everything you need to know. Absolutely. And it all plays into mindset and stuff too. We talked about this a handful of times as well, but the average person has 80 to 90,000 thoughts a day. And a lot of these are subconscious thoughts. And so you make decisions based on what's going on between the ears. And a lot of the decisions, the actions that you take is based on the emotions that you feel around those things. If you feel, some sort of way, or, if you're scarcity minded around money,
yes,
and because of those feelings, you're never going to take action based on how you think about those things. And like I said, like 89% of those are a lot of those are subconscious thoughts that you're having every single day as well. And so you need to start changing the way that you think. And one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got when it came to thinking, because we all have these thoughts, and sometimes it's hard to control your thoughts. And so that's why you got to be really, really intentional with not only the people that you're surrounding yourself with, because those conversations are always going to be high level or low level.
Yeah.
You will fuck your entire life up by hanging around people with no goals or aspirations. Yeah. And so you got to feed your mind the correct way. So even those subconscious thoughts start changing.
Well, he talks about it in the Tribal Millionaire when he gave him that exercise to do. Write who is your closest 10 friend.
Oh my
Write
gosh,
what.
yes.
It's so amazing. It is. He said, like, you're telling me they're all kind of influencing me. We are always being influenced by our environment, what we're hearing, what we allow ourselves to comes in our head. It doesn't, what songs we're listening. It's all have a purpose. There's a purpose for all of that. So it's influence, even in a subconscious mind. We don't even know how it's even affecting us there. It's
absolutely scary. Yeah, scary. You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm. And I want to circle back to that part too, like the Tribe of Millionaires part. One of the things that he talks about in the book, he's like, well, how much are your friends making? Oh, I don't know. We don't talk about that. Why not? Yeah. Why not? Jesse is very savvy with my financial situation. He can tell me when I'm making a good decision or a bad decision. Like having those uncomfortable conversations with the people around you, that's going to be a game changer for you. Being able to say, hey, you know what? I spent this money. Why? Why'd you spend that? Was that necessary? How is that going to benefit you? Is that a good investment for your value? How is that going to affect you? How is that going to affect your family? How is that going to affect the people around you? Yeah. Like being able to be surrounded by people who will hold you accountable and put you in a situation where you have to explain. Absolutely. It's like money, as Jesse says, is a 4-letter word to most people, and being able to put yourself in a situation where it's normal to talk about these things, that's going to make all the difference. Like I need someone to call me and be like, hey, Carlin, why didn't you go on a walk today? You said you were going to walk today. Why didn't you do it?
You're right. And it's nice. It's good to have accountability, I think, to hold each other. You have to have the right accountability, the people that cheer you, always there. And that's what friendship comes. You need to pick up the right friends. Sorry.
You need to find A-player friends. That's what everybody needs to be doing. Is you need to be finding A-player friends. For the longest time in the military, right. And this isn't just exclusive to the military. I keep saying the military just because that was my background. Yeah. But this is obviously everywhere, man. But anytime I ever went over to a friend's house while I was in the military, like the only thing that the guy, my wife and the gals would go into the kitchen or the other part of the house, and they would do their thing, and then the guys are in the living room doing their thing, and the only thing we were all talking about was sports.
I know.
We're talking about what everybody else is doing. We're wearing everybody else's jerseys. At some point you got to say, fuck that. I'm on the field.
Yes.
I'm a player. I'm down on the field. I'm wearing my own jersey. I'm sporting my own jersey over here.
Absolutely.
Until you don't do that, you got to take accountability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what happened. And that's what, like in the Tribal Millionaire, it's not like you get rid of everybody, but you really, for your very tight circle, there need to be people that think like you, wants to grow, and cheering you up. And let's do it together. Let's help each other. I mean, it's exhausting to be. You know how many people told me, "Are you still doing that?" I was like, "Am I sitting on your back? Am I hurting you? Are you carrying me? Did I ask you for something? No. Why don't you just cheer me up? That's what we should do for each other."
You will never be criticized by somebody doing more than you.
Thank you.
You will only be criticized by somebody doing less.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate you, Sheila, and I'll reach back out to you.
Sounds like James is making some calls.
Yeah, I see.
You guys can hear him? I can't even hear him.
James is getting after it, man. Yes. I dig it.
Oh my gosh.
Wrapping this up here real quick, Miri.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing walking away that our audience, people watching now, people watching in the future, what's one thing that they can take away that has been the biggest shift for you? Be it self-development, be it a piece of education that you learned, something you implemented, a habit that has you've been able to take that and implement it, and it's become part of your identity. And then you have this domino effect, this snowball effect that leads into building on all these other little things. What would one thing be for everybody they should take away from today?
I think people should, to make it quick and concise, that make a decision, truly make a decision to change and start. Don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm going to change in everything," because it's not going to happen. It's too much. Find out where you really need the most change and freaking do it. Do it. No excuse, non-negotiable. Find one that you're saying, this is non-negotiable. And when it can become a habit, build another one. Build another one till you build an empire. And that's what I really truly would suggest to people. And you know what? It's not only in business, it's anything. Like you say, what do we do? Everything. It's anything. How do you say that? You said it all the time. What we do, everything.
The way
how you do anything is how you do everything.
Exactly. And it will be a snowball. You know, in your relationship with your children, if you have them, with your spouse, and people would look at you and it's like, even my kids tell me, "Mom, we don't recognize you." I said, "What do you mean you don't recognize me? I'm the same crazy mom you always had." So, but you know, it's we really can change other people, and it can be a really ripple effect because we really need to change the world. People are too busy doing stupid stuff. Let's do something useful, you know?
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Miri. I couldn't agree more. You know, you reminded me of a how do I change this? Dang it. You reminded me of a post I made. I think it was yesterday, maybe. Let me read it because I'd love to get your thoughts on it real quick. Sorry?
The one that you had uniform on? Because I really like that one. Do you know?
Oh, no, not that one.
Okay.
Not that one. Let me read this to you real quick. And in closing, I'd love to get yours and Carlin's thoughts on this real quick. Then I got to go grab lunch for my family real quick. It says, if you grew up without money like I did, this is for you. Let me start by saying this. Everybody should try to get rich.
Yeah, right.
What a bold statement to make, huh? Hear me out. This is what I've learned, not only for other from other wealthy mentors and coaches, but from my own personal experience as well. The transformation you go through to get to that point means that you become a person of value and a person of resources. Think about what that means for a second. When people talk about you having to become somebody else in order to accomplish those dreams, goals, and ambitions, this is exactly what they mean. The way you think, the way you react, the way you respond, the level of emotional intelligence that you possess, your character, integrity, skills, habits, the quality and caliber of your relationships. All of these and much more will have to change in order to make that evolution. Why would you not want to become resourceful? Is it because you're comfortable? How many other people are waiting for you to uncover some of those dormant skills and abilities for you then to lead and help them? Let me repeat that for the people in the back. There are people waiting on you to get your shit together so you can help them.
Absolutely.
You have an obligation and a duty to help yourself so you can help others. Now, understand this. Other people's lives will be better because of what you all choose to be today. That could be friends, family, your children, complete strangers, all the above. How many people do you know that sit there and bitch and complain about their circumstances but do nothing to become a person of value? You don't rise to the height of your goals, but you fall to the level of the things you tolerate in your life and business. Raise those standards. Let's change that today.
Yes, I read that. I read the whole thing that you wrote. And the key there is that we have responsibility, you know, to share what we know, what we're doing, whatever it is, we have responsibility, because that's the only way you can change the world. And when I'm saying world, is I'm not talking about all the globe, which could be a ripple effect, but even in our sphere, you start there, and then if they catch up, they can change their sphere, and it's growing and growing, and that's what we want to do. Absolutely, so true. Yeah.
Thank you, Carlin. What are your thoughts?
When you have the opportunity to grow and you don't take advantage of that opportunity, the people around you, you're doing a disservice to. Because if you have that opportunity, then you have the ability to take someone with you on that ride. That's their choice if they decide to go with you on it. But when something is put in front of you, you are losing out. It's like let's take the roller coaster, for example. Okay. Jesse, you know, Miri, you know, we went to Universal recently. Okay. So we put our 7-year-old and our 8-year-old on a roller coaster. Probably not my finest moment with my 7-year-old. She did not find joy in it. The 8-year-old did. But that gets to the point. That's exactly in the direction this is headed. They had that opportunity. They didn't know whether or not they would or would not like it without having that experience. If you don't take the experience, you will never know. You won't know if that's going to benefit you. You won't know if that's something you're not interested in. You have to take the opportunities that are put in front of you to make any sort of decision. Is you can't sit there and say, well, I don't like roller coasters if you've never been on one.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree 100%. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I appreciate everybody being here with us and being in the comments, and Shannon and Jeff, Bill. Thank you guys. Allison, Derek, thank you guys for being here, man. Everybody should try to get rich. You have an obligation to get rich. You can help more people like that.
Absolutely.
You can do more good like that. And it's not all about the money. When you accumulate massive amounts of wealth and you begin growing your own portfolios and your own income and all that stuff, you become resourceful. You become a person of value. And there are things that are in each and every one of us. There are skills that you guys have, that everybody has, that are just so unique to you. And that's the great thing about this. A lot of people are worried about competition. Nobody can compete with you because nobody can replicate you. There are things that each and one of us do. There are ways that we think that nobody can ever replicate. And because of who you are, you have an advantage over everybody. One of my favorite quotes is from Kurt Cobain, lead singer of Nirvana. He said, "Wanting to be somebody else is a waste of the person you are."
You're right.
I just absolutely love that quote. Everybody here should try to get rich, because wealth, the money that comes in, is like I see it as the scoreboard. Nothing more. It allows you, it lets you know that is how we understand if what we are learning we are implementing, or if we're going to continue coming into the same obstacles. Are we going to continue doing the same thing, or are we going to change, adapt, and overcome? And your money coming in every single month is a direct reflection of the skills and habits that you bring to the marketplace. So when your income starts changing, that's a good indicator that you are growing as an individual. You're growing in the way that you think. You're growing in your skills. You're growing in your habits. You're growing in your ability to build bigger and more meaningful relationships. You're growing in your ability to limit the things that you tolerate in your life. And it's just a wonderful thing. Everybody, like, it's funny because it literally, that when you say everybody should get rich, it literally has nothing to do with money. which is super dope. So I appreciate you ladies. Thank you both for you guys' insights. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody else who jumped on and tuned in today. This was awesome. Guys, give Miri some love. Always a pleasure when we get to talk with Miri, and I every time we get on a call together, I learn something new. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be your friend and to learn from you. And I'm excited we get to meet in person in Las Vegas.
You just wait for the big hug. You just wait.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited.
I can't wait too. I'm really excited. Well, thank you for
Niles
having me. Oh, it's so cute.
Hi, Bum Bum.
Huh?
I want to get a soda.
You want to get a soda? Have you been good enough for a soda?
What?
We'll
I love
see.
her. Close her eyes.
I know, right? Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. TGIF. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll catch you guys next week.
You too. Bye.